Hello and welcome to Pure Experiences online satsang. This satsang is an opportunity for everybody to meet and discuss the spiritual matters. You can ask your questions and get your doubts cleared. This is especially very useful for those who are new to the path of knowledge and require some guidance. And it is very useful for those who are doing the program, the Path of Knowledge program. So all questions are most welcome. Arvind has a question. Why has Bharat been at the forefront of spiritual seeking and progress? This is a big misconception. The spirituality is found in every part of the world. Here there is a specific kind of spirituality that has survived a long time. That's all. In the other places on the same planet, same knowledge happened many times throughout the history. And this will continue to happen. And not only on Earth, this is happening in the total universe, which means the total manifestation is like this. Whatever you call as India came into being only 70-75 years ago. Otherwise there was no such country, Bharat. So how can we say that it is in forefront? These locations, the geographies, they keep changing. What does not change is the knowledge. And it appears wherever there is prosperity, peace, education, intelligence, etc. And that these conditions can happen anywhere, anytime. So certain places, certain times, they look like that they are in the forefront, but then they disappear. Some other places come in forefront, they disappear. And there are certain times where the knowledge is more than normal, and there are certain times where knowledge is very less. So this is the bigger picture. This is how it is happening, and this is how it will keep happening. Rahul is asking, why do criteria of truth keep on changing for normal people? Is there a pattern for this? People adopt that criteria which is according to their own intelligence and requirement. If the requirement is not so strict, then they go with the simplest possible. It is in the newspapers, everybody is saying it, your friend is telling it, and they say that yes, that can be a good criteria for truth. Because probably the requirement is not so strict. But if somebody tells you, these people, please invest in this and this share or company, you will get a good return, buy this property, it is good, then they do not believe it blindly, most of the people. They have that much intelligence to check. Because now the requirement is strict, they must use a better criteria. And this is what seekers also do. In day-to-day life, there is no other way. This is almost like a dynamic truth. That truth can become false anytime. When it is a question of knowing the ultimate reality, then you must adopt the most strict criteria, strictest possible, where there is no chance of a mistake. And that is why we use this ultimate criteria for truth. Amazing thing about the criteria that we use, criterion, is that it puts everything in the category of false, except you. So this is the heaviest possible classification of true and false. So probably the pattern is like this, that the more important it is, the stronger is your criteria. The stronger is your checking. You need to check it thoroughly, precisely. Otherwise, anything goes. And you will find that more than 90% of the people, their lives are anything goes. It does not really matter for these people what is true, what is false. It's simply going on. So that is why the ordinary life happens in total falsehood. And a seeker also need not worry too much when it comes to the worldly life. You can also have a dynamic kind of truth there. But if your goal is finding the ultimate truth, then you must refine your criteria. The justification for any criteria is that it must be applicable in all contexts. It should not change anywhere. It should not change with the situation, should not change with new information, should not change with time and place. Because if your criterion changed, that means you are going to get different kind of truth. So when we do the 3-day program, we ask the people, what do they think is truth? And 100% of times, they don't know. Ordinary people, even if they are in spirituality since many years, they don't know how to find the truth. only those who have heard it a little bit somewhere from my videos or read from some books, have some knowledge of the scriptures, they say that yes, changing is the criteria. Change is the criteria. But they parrot it. They simply say it. When we ask why changing is false, why is that false? Then again, they don't know. So not knowing the criterion will always land you in falsehood. Not knowing this prevents people from knowing the truth. This is a big problem. Because these things are never taught in your schools, not even in college, not even in the postgraduate PhD or above that. How do I know this? Because I come in contact with people of all kinds, from villagers to most educated people. Everybody fails. And another interesting thing is, when it is told that look, changing is false, nobody believes it. This is called the projection of the illusion. The illusion prevents people or the minds from knowing what is true. There is a force there which does not allow any ordinary person to accept the truth. And here is the importance of grace. Grace means that finally that intellect has reached a point where it can be smoothly bent in the other direction, where it can finally turn to the truth by letting go of this belief in the ordinary truth, in the ordinary criterion. This is impossible by preaching, by logic, by debating. Impossible. So it is possible only by the grace. Some people get it very quickly, what is true, what is not. Some people don't. Even if they are shown that, look, this is how it is, they say, yes, it is all logical and intellectual, but for me the truth is whatever I see with my eyes, or whatever is written in this book is true. That means the mind is not ripe at this time. And that means now that person must be left alone. You should not force the truth on this person, because he will become either mad or violent or both. So in the 3-day program, we take 3 steps to reach this understanding. First, we show what is true on a worldly level, day-to-day life. What is true in our day-to-day life? How do we decide what is true? And it comes out very surprisingly that whatever is changing is not believed. In day-to-day life also, it is taken as false. Changing names, changing caste, changing statements, changing behavior. Nobody trusts these things. Then we go one step higher and we say, how do highly intelligent people, those who are called big people, successful people or whatever, how do they decide what is true and what is false? And we give the example of a scientist, a doctor and a lawyer. And sometimes those who are money oriented, they are given an example of a successful businessman. And again, surprisingly, same. Changing is not believed by highly intelligent, highly educated, civilized people. Although they may not know it clearly, but that is how they behave. And then we take the final step. What are the criteria in philosophy? And again, same thing comes out. So it looks like there is a universal criterion there. It is not made up by some crazy philosopher. This is our direct experience. And this is what our intellect tells. Any intelligent person will arrive at the same truth, same criterion. So that is why I said totally depends on the intelligence of the person. It is very surprising that everything falls in the category of the false. There you must have an open mind. Otherwise you fall back in the illusion. The Maya ensures that this will happen for 99% of the people, about which we don't have any complaints. We don't want to disturb the illusion. The illusion needs these puppets who believe that everything they see is truth. Otherwise this whole thing will collapse. The societies will collapse, the humans will collapse, the whole creation will come down because people found a way out of it. The drama cannot continue like this. So the Maya allows a handful of people out of a trap through an action, through an event that is called grace. You will come to know the truth only if that is allowed. It's not her wish. Then even if it is told to that person, they won't recognize it. They won't accept it. They won't believe it. They won't even hear it. Why is that? Because the patterns in the universal memory, they have a tendency to preserve themselves. And obviously, telling these patterns that you are false is actually detrimental. It is harmful for their survival. So we are talking at the level of the most basic patterns that replicate and self-organize and all. But the same is seen in the complex forms as below so above. So ordinary person resists any attempts of telling the truth. They don't want to hear it. And this happens in our 3D program and other programs also, that 2 out of 10 they do not get it. There are some odd cases who will say, yes, I am the experiencer, but whatever I am seeing is also true. And that is a very good position actually. It's a compromise, but yes, no problem. Because at the highest level, the level of non-duality, there is no truth. And then nothing is false also. It simply is. The distinction of the true and false is a creation of the mind. And that is also an illusion. Graham is saying maybe ordinary people are better actors than seekers. They know, but they are unwilling to break character in the play. Yes, their time has not come actually. They need to play out their role first. Whatever illusory purpose they are serving here in the illusion, they need to do it, finish it. So they are not allowed. Or there is probably an internal knowing that probably this is the illusion, yes, right. But they don't want to give it up. This is seen in many seekers also, that they go back in the illusion. Nothing wrong in that also. Where are you going to go? Where is there to go? Where will you go? The illusion is also you. So we also allow that, because fully knowing that there is no way out of illusion, the only way is to know that this is an illusion and continue. The show must go on, but continue in the light of knowledge. This is the only teaching there is. Lead a simple, peaceful, pure life, fulfill your desires, help others, serve, light the lamps of knowledge everywhere, and enjoy the illusion. And then we should not worry about what is true and what is not. Because in the mind of an ordinary person, telling them that something is false leads to rejection of that thing. Not only for ordinary people, even the seekers, they become the renunciates, monks, sannyasi, whatever, because somebody told them everything is illusion. So rejection happens. You can see it in the common people also, that look, this product is not genuine. This product is a fake copy. And what do? You reject it. You don't buy it. You throw it away. Look, this person is a liar. Look, your husband is cheating with you. Divorce happens. We reject that which is branded as false. And that is why I said that as soon as people come to know that everything is false, this whole thing will disappear. So the Maya ensures that somehow, even if they come to know, they remain here. This is the projection ability of the illusion. Projection and the other ability, deception, whatever it's called. It is very good at it. She is very good in this matter. So we wait. We pick only those that can handle this immense conclusion that everything is false, except you. And yes, people don't understand this much also. And the job of a guru is a little bit difficult here. Suraj is saying, at waking state there is illusion that I am body and mind. In the dream, I am one of the dream character. Even while watching a movie, I become one of the characters of movie and feel the emotions of that character. There is a question that why can't there be just witnessing without being attached with one of the character? It seems like it is necessary for the existence to have identification to perceive the experience. Is it really possible to be witness without being identified as one of the experience? Yes, it is possible. Many people are doing it. Why it is not possible for you? Probably there is some impurity somewhere. Probably there are unfulfilled desires. Probably this illusion is still very much interesting for you. There can be many reasons. And the biggest reason that I have seen is the teachings are not yet embodied fully. You heard it. You are convinced about it. You have seen that I am the witness. But still there is some doubt somewhere. Just yesterday this question was there in the satsang, and I said, once you are told that you are a man, not a woman, how much practice will you need to remain as a man? Once you are told that you are the witness, how much practice will you need to remain as a witness? So it is possible. And once you get past the hurdles, the obstacles, you will be able to remain in the witness state forever, 24 by 7, without any break. But yes, for some people it may not happen immediately. For some it can happen on the very first day. Like I said, there has to be some kind of grace or some progress already for this kind of miracle to happen. And for some, it does not really matter. Witnessing is not important for many people. There are many kinds of people, many kinds of seekers. So some will say, even if I do this drama of being the witness, nothing is gained in the end. Because what I am. How this mind behaves, attached or unattached, is not my concern. Because that which is unattached is absolutely unattached, eternally. Remember, that is you. The witness is never attached to anything. The mind is attached to this thing or that thing. And then it complains, I am attached. Then it tries to leave the attachment. And then it falls in the trap again. So, a very intelligent person laughs at this drama of the mind. Probably Suraj is very new, so I am going to suggest that you try to be the witness. Nothing, no harm in that. It's not harmful practice, isn't it? And it does not take any time. You need to only remember. So try it. Don't assume my words as ultimate. No. You need to find out. You need to discover what works for you. If being the witness, doing this witnessing mindfulness awareness practice is somehow beneficial for you, then you must do it. If it is not doing anything for you, it is you can say like a burden. It does not give you any kind of pleasure, happiness. Don't do it. It's not compulsory. And if you are a third kind of person who can actually understand that this witnessing practice and the desire to be the witness is actually part of the illusion, you will let go. Probably there is a fourth kind, who knows. So find out your tendency and act accordingly. And if your choice is one of these and you need help, you should ask your guru. Very easy. So it is not necessary for the existence to have the identification, and it is not necessary for the existence to give up the identification. These are imposed thoughts. We should not impose our human tendencies on the whole existence. It has no tendency at all. It has no necessities. It does not want to be this way or that way. No, there are no wants. It is all mind. Once you know who you are, the rest is mind, which means rest is all illusion. This is the bottom line. Now, what do you want to do with it is your own personal choice. You're most welcome to do that practice which makes you happy. But it is not wise to worry about these things. Do that which comes naturally. Since it is all only the Mother Nature that brought you up to here with a little bit of help of the Guru, it will be Mother Nature who will take you beyond this. The human has no agency. We don't do much. The mind tries, worries, attempts, struggles, becomes happy, becomes arrogant. Whatever it does is of no consequence. So people ask me, what practice do you do? And I always lie, depending on who is asking. The truth is, I never do any practice. No practice at all. Why? There is no practice on the path of knowledge. Practice means you are still ignorant. The only practice is to know. Practice that. To know is to be, because there is nothing to know also, isn't it? Simply be. Anjali is saying, all the great masters have struggled a lot during their spiritual journey. I feel that the struggle makes the knowledge stronger and unshakable. But when one gets it without much struggle, it can be shaken easily. So isn't it important to struggle a bit just because of past karma that few people get it easily? Actually, it is not important to struggle. What happens is, if you make efforts for it, if you struggle for it, then its value becomes more. Remember, if you wanted to purchase something which is costly, you need to earn it. Then you give it some value. But if you get it without doing anything, you will probably not pay much attention to it. So it is not a matter of truth. It is a matter of human psychology. And what is the truth in this statement that all the great masters have struggled? I don't think. I don't think so. Probably Jesus Christ is the, you can say, very tragic example, but his struggle happened after he got the knowledge, not before. There is another example, Gautam Buddha. He struggled, yes, but he was a prince. What kind of struggle? No. Shankaracharya, he was born with the knowledge. I mean, I'm trying to find the great masters. Osho, I don't think he struggled. Sitting near a tree all day is not called struggle. Yes, the struggle is, you see, not knowing. Delay in knowing. That can be called struggle, You're not getting the proper guru. You're not able to practice. Whatever is the reason. That can be called struggle. But the fact is, as soon as the seeker is ready, the knowledge is served. It is like going to the restaurant. Probably in the traffic there is a little bit of struggle. Probably you don't arrive on time and so on, you see. But as soon as you're sitting on the table, you order your order, food, it is served. No struggle. So that is why when the student is ready, everything is given to that student. So probably, you see, if the student is ready without doing anything, probably that person will not value that knowledge that much. And such people are found to search for something bigger than non-duality, Advait, or anything that they think is ultimate. They start searching again. And those who are intelligent, they come to know very quickly that there is no point in searching now. I got it. So yes, the value may not be recognized as soon as they get it. That can happen sometimes. So some gurus are very cunning in this matter. They make the student run here and there from post to pillar before telling them even the basics. Because they can sense probably that this student will not value it. Sometimes I also do that. Very rarely. What is done on the path of knowledge is the person is given the knowledge without any conditions, unconditionally. Then the student is left alone to do whatever he wants. If you don't want to value it, don't value it. If it is of such a high value that you start crying after listening to this, because you see probably for many lifetimes you are looking for this, excellent. Why? Because these things are unimportant, you see. Getting the knowledge is important. If you don't want to value it, who cares? Are you going to get anything better than this? More valuable? No. Then why waste time telling him that please value this thing? That this is the most valuable. You're born for this. This is the purpose of your life. This is the purpose of human being. This is the purpose of the whole existence that is appearing as a human, to know itself. Probably they won't understand. So we don't waste any time. We know what will happen ultimately. The value will be recognized. And if the value is recognized right now, excellent. The student is happy, the guru is happy. Yes, it depends on the personality of the guru. They can make people suffer for a little bit of knowledge. Yes, possible. But after this is revealed, the student is forever grateful for this kind of drama that happened. Then he will see that it was not a struggle. It was a drama. So what is my method? Here is the knowledge. Take it. Don't like it? Okay, no problem. You see, the seeding is important for me. Not the consequence, like Suraj was saying. Totally unimportant for me. What happened to that student after knowledge? Who cares? Is he back in the world? Who cares? Is there anywhere else to go? Nowhere. Because the path of knowledge does not give any importance to the progress of the creature. We say Mother Nature will take care of it. Yes, those who are interested, they are lifted. They are given a lift. What do you call it in America? We call it giving a lift in the car. So seeding is the most important thing, action on the path of knowledge. The biggest success of the guru is to create another guru. That will be the biggest success. Not putting the student into some kind of shame that, look, you don't have any value for this. Or not sending the student on a lifelong practice of some kind, torture. You are not my student because you are not practicing. No, never do that. So you see, many cases it will be seen that the struggle that they did was not actually a struggle. They were some stepping stones. They were the rungs of the ladder that they must climb to reach here. Those who think I have not done any struggle, probably they have done their own struggle in many previous lifetimes. There is a progress evolutionary path that takes you to the truth. Some people are very lucky. They're born in the proper place. They're born with near a proper guru, good environment. Sandesh is saying, is Osho good for beginners to get into spirituality? What are your takes on his philosophy? Osho is a little bit of mixed bag. He does not follow any tradition or any path. So my recommendation is always to pick up your specific path, specific tradition, and a guru on that tradition, a guru belonging to that particular path. So Osho is good for beginners, yes, because the beginners have no path. They have no idea of what is a path, and they have no idea of what is a guru. So what he does is he serves you all kinds of food, spiritual food. Now according to your taste, you must recognize what suits me, isn't it? He is doing the path of knowledge, he is doing the Kundalini, he is in the yoga, he is in the Zen, and he is also in the self-improvement a little bit. Worldly advice, Jainism, Buddhism, Buddhism, Sufism. He knows everything. So you can get an overview of the spiritual scene, the spiritual landscape from Osho and similar people. You see, there are many like this who can speak on any topic. And then you pick and choose one thing which attracts you most, and that is your path. Then at that point, you should take a proper systematic study, get into systematic practice. Because how long can you listen to Osho? Very attractive, very mesmerizing talk. But that is not a practice, that is not a path. Keep listening to one fellow forever. That's not the progress. It is just like the Bhagavad Gita, you see. Mixed bag of all the paths. Now the truth is told there, but nobody understands why. Because you see, it takes a proper path, proper guru, proper practice. So my suggestion to Sandesh is enjoy the talks. See what attracts you most. On what subjects you think he says, the things he says are understood most. That's what you find interesting. And then approach a living master whom you like, who teaches the same thing. And try to walk properly on that path. So why are these people like this and why are they so popular? Just like cricketers and celebrities. We call them celebrity gurus because they are called the Lok Guru, which means Guru of the people. They do not select. They do not say that you are not my student and you are my student and you should do this practice and you should not do that practice. They never say. They accept everybody who comes to them. Because again, their purpose is simply to make the spirituality popular. Their range is so wide that they speak from politics to psychology to science to Advait, everything. So there are many students of Osho and they have progressed, but they have progressed only because they took a path. Vandita is saying, just wanted to mention that in Jain philosophy it is believed when wheel of karma responsible for blocking the knowledge is lifted, then only one can get the knowledge. They call it Jnana Varni Karma. Yes, they recognized it. Yes, many traditions they recognize this thing, the event, which is like ripening of the fruit. You cannot pick the fruit before it is ripe, cannot eat it. So we wait for the right person to show up, right student. The guru field is eternally waiting. They have nothing else to do. As soon as they find a ripe fruit, then some arrangements are made so that student is properly guided. Graham is saying, I feel a few others in the program are like gurus to me. They have been there to serve and guide. So freely and openly and kindly, I guess that is your intention. Yes, that is every guru's intention, that there has to be, they wish that this chain of teachers should continue somehow. And obviously we don't need to do that much hard work. Again, it's a matter of simply picking the right person, and that person is given some instructions and I check what they're doing. That's all. So those who with the qualities, those with the potential to become the guru, they are guided further. And I encourage, yes. Actually, I encourage those also who do not have the qualities. Because even a little bit of service is good enough. It's good for the people. And actually it is 10 times better for the person who is serving. So the person who is serving is benefited more than the person who is served. This is the lure in this field, that it is in your advantage to impart the knowledge or whatever has been told. You get the fruit, you get most of it. And yes, the other people, they also are benefited. So this is the only action which can be called the win-win situation. Both parties win here. It is not a give and take, that one person loses something, the other gains something. It is never like this. The job of the spiritual service, both parties get paid. So how will you know this? You will know this only by doing this. Only that, you should not do it too much, because it can become like an addiction. That I need to preach everybody. I need to teach everybody. I need to do something big, because there are too many ignorant people in the world. When these thoughts, they come in the mind, and that means some trouble. That fellow is going to cause some trouble now. So that is why permission of the guru is needed. Anyhow, some people go ahead without permission and they learn in the hard way how to do it. So permission is also not like this, don't do it. No, it is never like this. Very rare cases. It is always like this. Look, if you do this, there will be this consequence. If you do that, there will be that consequence. This is what we call as permission. Then the student must be intelligent enough to do something and not do something. So the living guru is actually a copy of the guru field. Just like the guru field is waiting and provides the help at the right time, this living guru is also waiting, provides the right help, whatever he or she can, to the right person. This much is the service. Nothing more needs to be done. It will appear like a difficult job to some people only because they are trying to serve somebody who does not want to be served. They are trying to feed somebody who is not hungry, and then it will be a very tough job. But we do that also sometimes, in hopes that probably that is an obstacle and I'll do something, I'll give my 100% to this fellow so that he goes past that obstacle. We do these things, but it should be taken as a play. We should not become serious about this. And before interfering in the lives of the students, they must be given the basic knowledge. The seeding is the important part. And then there is all play. Vandita is asking, fakeness is a behavioral impurity, but sometimes it is absolutely needed. How to deal with this conflict? It is very easy. If that lie, that fakeness, that drama, pretension is beneficial for you and for others, then it is good. You can say it is moral, ethical. If it is causing any kind of harm, then it's not good. Conflict will be solved like this. And this should be seen in the long term, not the short term. I am pretending like this, I am faking it like this. Is it going to be good in the long term? Ultimately, then you should do it. Otherwise not. If it has a short term effect, but the problem is not solved by that, then better to be genuine, true. You will recognize very quickly that you had to fake something, you had to lie, you had to pretend, because you yourself are responsible for that situation. Like we say, it is your karma. You are in that situation where you have to do this. Means that something wrong happened in previous time, in the past. Now you want to get out of that situation. So yes, check that nobody is getting harmed. If the harm is small, for example, that person can feel a little bit of sadness, etc., etc., then it's okay. But if the harm is big, for example, some loss of money, something like this, you should not do it. Wait for the right moment. So what is the correct way? Do not land in this situation where you need to lie. Be straightforward from the first day. Now we are all not lucky that lucky. Nobody taught us these things. We just behaved in an instinct way, and then we landed up in these situations, and now we need to find some ways out. So the lesson that is learned is always tell the truth so that you don't land in a situation. Always do that is necessary. Just now I posted a video where Francis said a very beautiful phrase, very beautiful sentence. The law of least action. That is what we mean when we say do only the necessary. Law of least action. If you need to pretend, do as less as possible. Bring the truth out as quickly as you can. There will be consequences, yes. But there is something called hard landing and soft landing. So lying can convert landing into a soft landing. But yes, there will be consequences. I'll give you an example of faking, lying that can be beneficial. It happens a lot in this country. Let us say somebody's child dies in an accident. So this is the truth, that the child died. But when you call his mother, what do you say? Your child fell down somehow and he's crying. You need to come back home. And the mother comes back home. Where is my child? Oh, he was a little bit injured. He was taken to the hospital. You go to this hospital. Still they are not telling her. But one step more, you see. The news is broken in steps. Goes in the hospital. Doctor says, oh, he is a little bit more injured. So he is in the operation theatre, ICU, emergency room, wherever. Please wait here for 1 hour. And then everybody arrives, Mother, sister, mother's mother, husband, family. There is a crowd now. And then somebody says, we could not save your child. Because by that time, the mother has gone through a lot of initial suffering. Or then she is mentally prepared for the news. So isn't this bad? Isn't this lying? Isn't this fakeness? Yes. But the suffering is there. You see, the consequences are there. Nothing has changed. But only thing is that we made it a little bit softer. At least we tried. This is what we do. And sometimes this is done for good news also. Like I know of some cases where some people were told that you won a lottery, this many crores, this many millions, and they died of heart attack. I heard these things. So depending on the strength of the person, good news is also not revealed quickly. So they will be told, look, you earned 1,000 rupees in the lottery. Why don't you check? So by that time, he is mentally prepared for that news. So in this way, if the situation is like this, which can be eased by lying, then that should be done. Otherwise not. Sandesh is asking, is there any practice or way to observe the observer? And is that the same you're referring to Sakshi Bhav? Yes. You can call it the awareness practice or the Sakshi Bhav. And obviously you will realize that there is no way to observe the observer. It's not possible. It is only possible to know that I am the observer. So that is the practice. To remain in this knowledge. What will happen if you don't remain in this knowledge? Nothing will happen. The observer is always present eternally. This human is like a speck of dirt for observer. And like a flash in the pan. Eye blink. So this practice should not be given that much importance. Just like I said, just now I said this, I think. But if this human being is benefited in some way, that look, this is so fantastic, wonderful experience to remain in the knowledge of who am I. Very nice. Go ahead, enjoy. What is most important is, you see, you realize the truth and live a simple life. It will be made known to you whenever there is a need. The example of hot pan is very beautiful. You touch the hot pan, you learn not to touch it again. But you don't remember it all the time. Look, I touched the hot pan. Look, it was so hot. I should not touch it. You do not chant this mantra all day for years. No. Next time you see the hot pan, you remember, yes, I should not touch it. Or even if you see the cold pan, you just make sure that it is not hot. It is not on the fire. That much you ensure. Isn't that simple? Isn't that natural? So whenever there is a need, you drop your identity as the human. When there is a need, you assume the identity as human. That is intelligence, in my opinion. Although it totally depends on the seeker, what do they want? What is their wish? It is only a practice of remembering, and it is prescribed to only those who tend to forget. Now the guru gets irritated. What did I tell you? Who are you? Oh, sorry, I forgot. Okay, now do the practice. Write down 100 times you are the Sakshi, you are the witness, you are the experience. Every day 100 times. So in very poor cases, this practice will be prescribed. It is there as a part of the program we are doing. And the intention there is, to make you familiar with this practice. That look, there is such a practice. Do you want to do it? Okay, do it for 3 months. Then I never ask you, how is it going? No, I never ask you. And then it is given for another reason, that probably you will become a guru yourself, probably you are interested. So now you have the training to train somebody else in the Sakshi Bhav. So nothing is done in this program which is unnecessary. Law of least action. Yes, follow it. Lakshmi is asking, what is simple in Sattvic life? Where you live in such a way that your karmic balance is reduced instead of increasing. That is one way. That which is causing suffering to you and to the others should be dropped immediately. That which is excess should be dropped immediately. And that which is pleasing too much, like you are attached to those things, that should be dropped gradually. When your desires are fulfilled to some extent, then you will see that your life is very simple. And that will be called a Sattvic life. Sattvic means based on truth, Satya. Sattvic comes from Satya. So how can this be done? And that is what is called a spiritual life actually. It is done by leaving, not by gaining. It is done by letting go, not by taking on. And that is why it is difficult, isn't it? Let go. Let go of that which is easy for you, isn't it? First things, you should let go of those things which can be done easily, If it can be done easily, let go of that. And you know what can be done easily? That the things that are causing suffering. You don't want them already. Simplify by letting go. I don't want that. No concern. Then you let go of unnecessary, which is happening. It's not causing suffering, but it's totally unnecessary. Like buying more stuff, eating more, sleeping more, talking more relatives. You start chopping them down, like cutting the trees, and you keep the bare minimum. By the time you're ready to leave this physical world, you will be so light that you'll simply float out of the world poetically. If you have the burdens on you, like rocks tied to you, you won't be even able to walk. And you'll drop back here, next birth, with the same burden. I think that is the teaching in every path. Not only the path of knowledge. Actually, the path of knowledge recommends nothing. Because we know what is the consequence of knowledge. As a consequence, your life turns into something simple and sattvic. Ordinary. Nothing extraordinary. Even if you become a servant of knowledge, even if you become a guru, you will remain ordinary. Although the people are going to project you as something divine or great, don't worry. Let them do whatever they want to do. You remain ordinary. You remain simple. Some people have dropped so much that all they have is a pair of shirts, clothes, and slippers, and a wooden pot. They drink in that pot, they eat in that pot, and they take bath in that using that pot. And these people are called the sannyasis. So hopefully you will become like that. But there is no need to do that kind of extreme, because the attachment is in the mind. Your physical appearance and whatever you possess may not be a good reflection of detachment. So some people pretend to be sannyasis, but there is a lot of attachments, a lot of stuff in their minds. The karmic stuff is not yet over. But yes, they are doing something, they are doing some effort. Probably their path demands this kind of action. But on the path of knowledge, you enjoy your life. But keep your mind clean. Should not be attached. Should not be attached to whatever this thing is enjoying, this creature. So you should keep checking. Can I live without this thing? And yes, if you can live without that thing happily, then you are detached. And if that concerns you, that bothers you, that troubles you, this one thing is not there. And that means there is attachment. There is expectation. And now you work on it. And you don't need to force. Do it naturally, beautifully, properly, lovingly, like a play, and you will improve. Jayesh is saying in one audio, Sadhguru said one can change their genetic makeup in a matter of months, as we know that anything is possible in illusion. But still, apart from that, what are your thoughts on it? Yes, anything is possible in the illusion. And those who know how to do it, it will be done. It is possible. How will you know? And the key is knowledge. What is this thing? What is the genetic makeup? Who is there to change it? Who can do it? What kind of progress is needed? What kind of spiritual attainment is needed to do that? And then long practice, and you will do it. And on the path of knowledge, we will let that which is, because we know it is perfect, and we progress forward. The progress happens by leaving behind. The use is over, you leave it behind. And probably there are other paths where you try to manipulate whatever you think is not good enough. My genetics is not good enough. That means there is a long path now. You will remain trapped here, fixing the genes. No problem, whatever you like. On the path of knowledge, the progress is very fast, like rocket. On other paths, they are busy doing something else, which is totally unnecessary. Vandita is saying it is referred as aparigraha, means non-grasping or non-attachment. This Yama teaches us to practice moderation, taking only what we need, keeping only what serves us in the moment, and letting go if unnecessary. Yes, the same thing will be called pratyahar in Ashtanga Yoga, and we call it doing the necessary, letting go, or like he said, the law of least action. That will make your life simple and sattvic, happy, unburdened. Actually, it will be so much pleasure that you will look forward to this time of death, where finally the last thing will be, there will be last, letting go happens at the time of death. What is that? This body. You don't want this now. It's unnecessary, isn't it? So that is the ultimate pleasure. That is the moment of rapture. And just now he mentioned Sadhguru. Sadhguru has also mentioned this thing, that your moment of liberation is actually your moment of death. Or your moment of death is your moment of liberation. Now you understand why, if you have led a good life, spiritual life, which means this life which we're talking about, of subtracting, of dissolving, then your death will be moment of liberation. Otherwise, no. Otherwise, it's a torture, it's a suffering, it's a loss. And remember, how do people see the death? That is right. For them, it is not a moment of liberation or joy. It is a tragedy for ordinary people or ordinary seekers. But those who have led a good life of knowledge and fulfillment, they are looking forward to that time, Like you are traveling in a car and the destination is far away. Initially you enjoy the journey, the music is playing in the car and car is speeding, you get to see a lot of things out of the window. But after 2-3 hours, what happens? Oh, my back is paining, my leg is paining, I need to go to bathroom. It becomes a torture. Now you look forward to the moment when you'll finally arrive, get out of the car. That is, leaving your vehicle is your pleasure now. Same way, live your life in such a way that leaving the vehicle, this body, becomes a pleasure for you. That is possible only by knowledge, only by proper application of that knowledge in your lives. BK saying, knowledge is the enemy of death, knowledge is the enemy of love. Human beings must experience what it means to die through living. Yes, very good. So everybody should think about this. If this is not your prarabdha, make it your prarabdha. Who's stopping you? Give your life a goal. This is the highest goal possible. Surprisingly, it is leaving. Tyag, not gain. You don't need to gain anything. That which you gained is the problem. That is the burden. That is the ignorance. You are whole and complete. That is the knowledge. So here we'll end our satsang. Hopefully everybody benefited. And I'll see you next time.